Okay, guys, we are live. Hit the like, hit the sub, give us a sub, show us your love. Do you like that, Courtney? Do you like that?
Yeah.
And of course, give Courtney Neary some love and give her a sub. Her link will be down in the description. It's great to have her on. Huge LFC fan live from Liverpool. Courtney, how are you?
Not bad, thanks. You?
Yeah, listen, we're going to have a little chat, talk about the Reds. Nothing better to do than talk about the Reds, even though we're all over the shop at the moment. We're absolutely all over the shop at the moment, and it isn't good. I could hardly sleep last night after that 0-0 debacle at Selhurst Park. You did a watch-along for it. Oh, you know, it's always hard picking the right watch-along. It's great when you beat United 5-0 away, and you get huge views, you get loads of people in, and you're feeling great after, but doing a 0-0 at Crystal Palace where you're, I mean, you don't know what to say in 2 hours. It's tough, isn't it?
No, yeah, I think every single watch-along I've done, the games haven't been the best as well. So maybe I shouldn't do them because I feel like I might jinx them. Stick to the match day vlogs instead. They're more exciting.
Yeah, it's always nice to do an odd watch-along, but you need energy. I mean, it's 2.5 hours, you know?
Yeah.
And you need a sip of drink, or you need something beside you because you're in trouble if you don't. Your voice just dries up. But Courtney, obviously huge Liverpool fan. As a kid growing up, always a Red. I think your brother's a Red as well, isn't he?
Yeah, so I actually grew up literally like a throwing stone from Anfield. My whole family was Reds. It was like everyone was something to do with football. My dad worked at Anfield as a steward.
Oh.
And then my 2 cousins were Reds when they were first born, and then they ended up turning Blues. So now it's like me and my brother against them constantly.
That is not nice, turning blue. I mean, that is not nice. There's actually a medical term. There's a medical term for that, but I won't say it, turning blue. But look, as I say, I mean, Liverpool have been brilliant since Klopp came in October 2015. Obviously, that's what, 7-8 years now this year. I mean, you've come on in a crest of a wave, to be fair. I mean, we've had some poor teams. I mean, I'm following Liverpool since the 80s. I'm giving them away, 80s and 90s. We've had some really poor teams. We've had some good teams, of course, in the 80s. 70s and 80s were unbelievable. But since Klopp has come in, I mean, it's just been a whirlwind. It's been a roller coaster, as Ronan Keating would say. It's been an absolute roller coaster. Love is a roller coaster, just gotta ride it. And I think Liverpool are riding it at the moment, but we're going down the bloody hill instead of up. Yeah. So for you, it's been a roller coaster, but Klopp, any big memories, games you're at? I know you go to Anfield a lot, but October 2015, Klopp came in, you must have been going, here we go.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as we signed him, it was just straight away like it felt like something magical. I remember me and my dad didn't at that point, because I wasn't old enough to drink and that. We didn't really go out much to watch the game. And we made a point of going out to watch the first Klopp game. Wasn't it against Tottenham, I think?
Yeah.
And,
I remember 1-1 nil 1-1, wasn't it? It was a draw.
Yeah, I think it was a draw. It wasn't the most exciting game, I think, but it was exciting because Klopp was now the manager, and I think we all felt like it was the start of something special. And then you sort of seen it progress within the first few months very quickly.
Yeah.
I remember going the game before
then. It took 18 months, didn't it, to put his stamp on it? I mean, a manager takes 1 to 2 years to put your stamp on a rebuild and stuff like that, but it slowly and surely took off. I always remember the final of the Europa League final against Sevilla.
Yeah.
That was a disappointment. That was a big disappointment. It took a while to break that glass ceiling, the trophy wins, but when it broke, it shattered.
Yeah. I think that game might have put a bit of a fire up the backsides of a few of the players and the coach and stuff, just to be like, we've had a taste of what we could have had.
Yeah. Let's
go for it a bit more now.
And we were beaten in the league. A lot of people forget we were beaten in the League Cup final by City. Remember, on penalties?
I was at that game. It was my first trip to. It was my first trip to Wembley, and it was, as soon as the penalties got took, I was like, I cannot watch this. It's the only time I've not watched penalties because I was too nervous. Plus, it was the other end of the pitch for me, so I struggled to see it anyway. But
what were you like last year with 2 penalty bleeding shootouts, 2 finals? Were you any of the games last year? Were you any of the League Cup final last year?
I went to the FA Cup semi-final, but I was unlucky in all the others. So
what a game to go to the City semi.
Yeah, that was, and the few I had was just absolutely amazing.
That was as good as the final. Well, the final was a drab 0-0, of course, in penalties, but
it was a more exciting game.
Was probably better, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And then I went to Hotel Anfield to watch the 2 finals, and any pub in Liverpool for a final game, it was electric. It felt like being there.
Where do you go? I do like being around the ground. Anytime I go up to Liverpool, I either stay in the city or I stay close to Anfield Road. I'd go down to Hotel T. It's Taggy's now. You've got Hotel Anfield next door as well. I like staying around the area because the reason you're coming over, if it's only a night, you're staying one night, you want to be as close to Anfield as possible, really. You know what I mean? Pop World. Do you got time to go to Pop World, believe it or not? But,
fun fact, I've not been to Pop World yet. It's on my list.
Well, look, it's decent. It's decent on the main street. I'm surprised you've never been to Pop World now. That is, maybe it's only for over 30s. I don't know, over 40s. I don't even know. I certainly get in, no problem. But so Liverpool, obviously, this season we're all over the shop, as you say. It was 0-0 last night against Palace. It's not where we want to be. I don't think we'll stay there. There's a lot of rebuilding to do. We need backing. FSG need backing in the summer. We need money. I'm sure we'll get it. It's whether we get it in one window. I think, Courtney, this will take 2, maybe 3 windows to sort out the way Klopp wants to sort it out. I don't think he's going to sort it out this summer.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think the big case for us needs to be we don't just stick a plaster on it in this transfer window and get someone like have a season where it's really good again and you go, oh, there's still issues. Because I think a lot of us, and I will hold my hand up as probably being one of them, going, oh, we've brought in Diaz, we've brought in like Thiago, and being like, oh, this could be like the start of something. And then last season was amazing. And I think because of that, we sort of all overlooked the issues until this season when it's become very clear. I just hope that doesn't happen again, because then we won't get the investment into the squad we need from FSG again.
Yeah,
you'll see.
I mean, it does look like the FSG are looking for investment. I know where back in November, everybody was saying that they're going to sell, and I never really thought it was on the card. Liverpool's a cash cow. I mean, you'd be sort of mad unless you got a crazy 6 billion or some mad fee for it. I don't think they were going to sell. Maybe a 10% stake, something like 300 million, 400 million come in to invest in the players. I mean, the new Annie Road end is hopefully, I heard there's could be a problem with it starting in August. I don't know whether you know or not. It looks like it's coming along. You've obviously seen it recently.
Yeah, the funny thing is I'm currently having arguments with one of my mates at the match currently, because he's read that it's opening next season stuff. And I actually worked on the murals at the back of it on the hoardings. I was doing the pictures for Mayor Walls, who do all them. And we got told it was next season it was opening, like the season after this one coming up. So I was like, it's a year and a half we've got to wait, like this was a few months back now. So that was told from the club. I'm not sure whether that is the case or whether it's still going to be opening next year. I don't think the club's wanting to speak about it until you have a bit more of a clear idea.
Something happened. One of the companies, as far as I know, that were doing the cladding or doing something, they went into administration or something, and they found it hard. It took a few months to get someone else in to take over from where they left off. It was meant to be open in August this year, but I have a feeling it could go on. But listen, the ground will look great when it's done.
I hope it means more tickets.
Well, the prawn sandwiches won't get the tickets. That's the problem you're going to have. The locals, probably won't get it. It's the prawn sandwiches in the directors' boxes and up, the press box and all these guys. Hospitality, basically, will probably get a lot of those bloody tickets. And that's just the way it bloody is. I mean, it's more money
make the money back in the end of the day. I think with the boxes in the main stand, I think they made the money back within the first 2-3 years just off the hospitality.
It's unbelievable. Did you ever do hospitality, did you?
I've done it once, and that was for the Man City game last season. I got a ticket last minute, and they gave me it less than the asking price for it. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So I didn't get the full experience of it, but it was more so I could go to the Man City game, because I thought, oh, it's going to be like biggest game of the season, and it was quite a boring game.
Yeah, it was a boring game, but Liverpool City's always a big game. What was I going to say to you? Okay, Liverpool fan, huge. I mean, what game stands out to you? As a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, I always remember 2005. I think a lot of people my age sort of always remembers it, because
I remember it.
Yeah, but that was our first big game where we could actually remember it. I was in bed and went to sleep at half time. My mum let me put it on the bed, and then I woke up just as penalties started being took, being like, am I still dreaming? What's going on?
Yeah.
Which that's probably like the first memory I have of a big game, but actually being at the game, it's probably got to be Divock Origi last minute heading it in against Pickford. That was just
iconic.
Yeah, I was there with my dad as well, which was rare at the time because he worked there, and I ended up with like a bruise on my leg off him picking me up. He was because it was just as people were starting to leave already, people were just falling down the stairs in celebration. It was
crazy.
definitely it was a
crazy.
mental night.
Divock Origi has a few moments, of course, in his locker, but that one in particular, where Van Dijk on the edge of the area slices the ball, it goes up into the gantry, and everybody's thinking either Pickford is going to just push it over, or it's going to go over into the net. And Pickford, for some strange reason, which he always has it in his locker, I don't know what he does. He lets it hit off the crossbar, flounders with his little small arms, and it falls for Divock, who brilliantly is there to head in. I mean, most players wouldn't follow it in.
Yeah, perfect position. I always as well just love the fact afterwards of Klopp running at Ali. I just absolutely love that.
We've had so many iconic moments, of course, but that was one, obviously, Origi in the Champions League final in 2019 to finish, basically win it, because that was 2-0. You wouldn't see Spurs coming back from that, bang into the corner. I mean, he's had, even the Newcastle, do you remember the Newcastle winner he got? And it was 2019.
I was actually at that game.
3-2. In Newcastle?
Yeah, me and my dad, we know someone who gets like away tickets now and again, and we always say to them, if you get Newcastle, we'll go, because I used to live up there at this point, and my dad came up and seen me. We went into it, and I always remember it because the Newcastle fans at the end, a few of them walked out and they were like, I hope you win the league now. And it was like, but there was 2 or 3 like young lads that were Liverpool fans in the Newcastle end, and they kept it quiet the whole game. It has been kicking off left, right, and centre. It's one of the most weirdest, funniest games I've been in. And then when Divock scored, they just lost it, and this lad jumped up and celebrated, but his mate pulled him down and acted like he was consoling them, and it was the funniest thing ever, because I saw them then looking over, I was like, get it, and like,
do you know what? I actually had a live watch along for that game, and I took my top off and started swinging it around. I went fucking crazy for the last, because it was literally, it made us get back into the race, and we had a chance to win the league that season, definitely. Of course, which we lost out by 1 point. But Doug from the Doug Football Channel's in. Doug, how are you? Had to laugh at one of Courtney's vlogs in America, and she finds a costume. Oh, you can dress up as Jordan Pickford. You go to Florida a lot, don't you? America?
We go, like, we try to go every 2 years. Obviously, COVID sort of like tampered that, but yeah, we went in October, and the Halloween shop was open, and we went in, and when we were in there, they had a blow-up costume of a dinosaur, and straight away I was already filming, I had the camera in my hands, and I just sort of pressed it, and I just went to my brother, look, you can dress up as Jordan Pickford. And my brother just lost it.
He's actually signed a new contract extension at Everton last week, so the dinosaur is not extinct yet.
He's going to have fun in the Championship next season.
Well, it looks like they're in trouble, aren't they? They beat 2-0 by Villa yesterday at home. Yeah. They're in big, big trouble. Big trouble.
I went out into the garden at one point, and I could hear them this was during the first half, I think it was, and I could hear them booing. And I was like, yeah, they're going down again.
Yeah, well, they haven't been down. I mean, Everton haven't been down. I don't think Everton have been down. No. I think one of the longest clubs, I think, in the Premier League, or in the top flight. There's one of 2 or 3 clubs that haven't been down in a long, long time. It'll be something for the city if they go down. It'll be a big thing for the city, because Liverpool is, there's only a park between them, Stanley Park. If anybody has ever been over there, they're so bloody close. Even when I did the stadium tour back in 2019, and you're looking out the window, you can see the ground. It looks in bits, to be fair, doesn't it? I mean, it really does.
The garden shed.
I know they've a new ground being worked at down on the water side. So you hear any more about that?
I don't really hear much about it. There's constantly a running joke that it's now becoming an Asda. So in Liverpool, everyone goes, there's the new Asda.
A little.
Yeah. But we actually see it on the way to work every day. So I've already said to my dad, like, I dread if we have a derby against them or something, and something goes wrong, and I've got to see that in the morning. But after the derby the other week, I loved seeing it getting built. I was walking to work going, like, it was a nice little reminder. But it is coming along pretty fast, to be honest. It does look quite big as well. So,
but as you say, I mean, if they're going into that new stadium and they're in the bloody Championship, that is a right downer, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's
definitely
not what they projected.
No.
But anyway, we'll move along. This season has been pretty poor. I'm sure you will agree. We've had so many problems. People always ask me, what's wrong? What's going on? Look, there's about 10 different things that are wrong, and they're all in a pot being stewed around the same time. It's not one or two things. It's player profiles, the likes of Fabinho, Hendo, Keita, all these players getting older, getting injured. Naby and Ox will be gone this summer, I'd say, on freeze anyway. We let the profile of the midfield go far too old. We relied on some of the younger lads far too. Look at young Stefan Bjatasic in midfield. I mean, he's 18. He just turned 18.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But I mean, we're throwing him in there because probably we've no choice. Now, Klopp sees him in training, so Klopp will say, listen, this guy's ready to rock and roll. Doesn't matter what age you are. I remember Michael Owen when he started out young. If you're really good, it'll show it on the pitch. He's played in some big games. And I just think FSG, we know all about it, have let at least 2 windows go where they should have invested. The year we won the league in 2020 for the first time, in 31 years, they didn't really invest. Minuscule investment.
Yeah, and in that season, we lost Wijnaldum as well, so that was a big loss.
The genie was out of the bottle. The genie was out of the bottle.
I always say, and I even take it back to Coutinho, we brought in Ali and Verge from it, but we never replaced that player in midfield.
That position.
And at that time, he was... I absolutely loved him, so I'm probably a bit biased, but he was one of our best players at that time.
I was worried when he was leaving. And now the money looked great, 120, 130, and I was going, if FSG invested, which to be fair to them, they did, which they had to, and they did invest wisely, let's be real. They did invest wisely. But I think of windows that were forgotten. The 2020 window when we won the league, was minuscule investment. 100%. I mean, United and Chelsea, when they were winning leagues, when you win a big trophy, a Champions League or a league, that's when you invest. When you're on top, you invest to stay ahead. Because everybody's coming up behind you, spending money, and wants to take it off you. They want it. I want that league. I want that Champions League off you. And they're going to go harder next year. And we just didn't invest in those 2 or 3 windows. We all know what happened in 2021. We were playing Reece Williams and Nat Phillips a centre half, and Alisson was scoring headers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, miracle stuff that got us top 4. Miracle stuff.
And that goes back to what I was saying earlier, where you have that bad season and then you have a good season afterwards, and it sort of plasters over the issues. I just hope that doesn't happen with next season and we don't end up with the investment.
No, but I mean, what do we do? I mean, obviously, there's all talk about FSG. It looks like investment. We need investment. Even Klopp's, his demeanour in his interviews and his little press conferences, I don't know whether you watched them on a Friday before the games, but I don't know whether you've noticed it last week, or his demeanour has changed, the way he's answering the questions. We know he was fighting with journalists, James Pearce and stuff like that recently, but his demeanour's got a bit more maybe relaxed and saying, listen, I'm here for at least another 3 years. I know we need a rebuild. I've been talking to the owners. They know we need a rebuild. They're going to give me money. Am I going to go again? I think that's in his mind. I actually think he could get an extension after those 3 years, because I think it'll take more than 3 years to get us back. It could take 5.
Yeah, definitely. I've noticed it a lot this season. I go and watch the coach meet and greets, and you sort of see him come in, like, on the coach is usually like all happy, and even his demeanour there is completely changed. It's been a bit more subdued. He's like sitting back, and he's not like he looks a bit more angry, but it's not like, I don't think he is angry. It's just more like he's that focused on the issues that are going on, and that he's not allowing himself to get distracted by what's going on outside. But yeah, I do think whether he believes he'll get the investment is another thing, because he's being told before he's going to get the investment, and then it's never came through. We had after the Champions League, where John Henry's in Madrid and he's going, yeah, I'm going to be investing into the team, and then it's like, where's that ever gone?
That's become a meme now, you know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Sub to Courtney Neary's channel there. Doug's put it in. It'll be in the link anyway, guys, on YouTube and Twitter as well. And Instagram. Actually, your Instagram. Let's talk about your Instagram. You've what, 29,000 followers on Instagram. That's really where it's at for you, is it, Instagram?
Yeah, that's where it all started, basically. And it was really weird because it was in the middle of COVID. It just suddenly started shooting up, and I wasn't even in Liverpool at the time, which was really weird for me. But obviously I was still posting about the football.
Yeah.
And then when I came back to Liverpool, because I'd missed it for so much and it was still COVID going on, I thought I'll start doing Instagram lives just to show people what's going on around Anfield, because I knew even more people than usual couldn't get to Anfield. So I was showing that, and then from there basically started trying out YouTube a bit, and then obviously once the football started back up, I started doing match day vlogs, which people seem to enjoy. So
brilliant. Yeah, I've seen a few of them. Absolutely brilliant. Now, it does help being at Liverpool. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, if I could get to Liverpool, I live in Dublin. It's not that far from Liverpool, really. But if I could get to Liverpool every second week or third week, geez, I'd be hanging out at the gantry. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'd be loving it. But look, keep doing what you're doing, because obviously you've got a big following. It'll only keep growing. It'll only keep growing.
Thanks.
You know, no, brilliant. As I say, all Courtney's links will be down in the description. Doug's put the channel up, but I'll put it down in the main description anyway. Who's your favourite player of all time? Liverpool favourite player of all time. We'll talk about current player, but favourite player. You got a historical player. Yeah.
I think for me, it's always got to be Gerrard and Carragher. I couldn't pick between the two. Just being from like Liverpool itself and seeing. Yeah. Not only the stuff they done for it and like growing up and like idolising them, seeing the stuff they do for the city itself afterwards is just pretty cool to see. And obviously anyone from Liverpool to see, it's very much like Trent now. Trent being the scouser in the team, it's pretty nice to see some local lads in the squad.
And there's a lovely, of course, mural by Morwell. I think Morwell's did it through the Anfield wrap of Trent right on off Anfield Road there.
Yeah, I think that one was by it's an artist called ASCII or something.
ASCII, it was ASCII. It was ASCII, yeah. It was ASCII.
There's two from them of Gerrard and Carragher. So they've got the two like older scousers. I don't want to call them older, but yeah.
Don't mention old that I'm on. But there's actually a really good one of Ian Rush just facing the ground on the corner of Anfield Road. I like that one. That
is amazing. That was I was there when we were painting that, and it was really fun to see and do, and especially Rush's reaction to it. He absolutely loves it, and you see him post it quite a lot now on a match day, which is nice to see.
What a striker he was, my God. Yeah. Courtney's favourite chant at the game, says Ravi. Favourite chant?
Either every other Saturday or Poor Scouser Tommy.
Poor Scouser Tommy. They're the real old school ones you like. They're the real old school ones. You like Jamie Webster, don't you?
Yeah, I used to love going to watch him at Hotel Anfield before it turned to Taggies, but
yeah,
he stopped doing that now because he's got his own stuff going.
He's so big now. He's taken off.
He's massive.
He used to be up on the gantry looking down over the Carlsberg Garden, didn't he? Playing his music. Yeah.
Well, he does boss nights now and again still though, so I do still try and get to them when they're on.
Yeah, no, I do know. Yeah, I know that. Favourite goal? Well, I think that was the Origi goal, wasn't it? The Origi last minute goal against Everton, which
I
was
think actually my favourite one would be from the Barcelona game. Corner taken
the Origi, the fourth
goal. You cannot beat corner taken quickly. It's just
that should be your favourite chant. Your favourite sentence is corner taken quickly. Origi, and it's 4-0, and that was a ridiculous. Don't tell me you were at that game, will you?
No, unfortunately, I did have offers of a ticket.
Oh,
but I'd already promised my brother before the first leg had even took place. I promised my brother I'd watch it with him at home.
Oh.
So, because he at that point he loved Barcelona. He had like when he first got into football, I think most kids his age, like Barcelona was the first team you saw. Like you watched outside of your family team and local team, you'd go and watch Barcelona. So he'd been watching them, and I was like, I'll watch it with you. And then watching it, I was like, what? And then my mum usually tells me off for screaming. And I think within the first 15 minutes or something like that, Henderson had come close to a goal and someone else had. And I was like going mental. And I just had to run into the kitchen and be like, because my mum was cooking tea. And I was like, I'm sorry for shouting, but I think we've got this. And she was like, why have we scored? And I was like, no. She was like, well, how have we got it? And then as the game went on, she went, how did you know that? And I was like, just from the get-go.
It seemed to be one of those nights, didn't it? There was like electricity coming through the television. I wasn't at it. I was watching here in Dublin, but it was one of those crazy, mad, historical nights. Probably one of the best nights ever at Anfield. I know there's been a few in history if you go way back into the 60s, 70s, 80s and stuff, but in recent memory, it's going to be very hard to be beating Barcelona 4-0 from being 3-0 down, having Coutinho, having Messi, Suarez, all these players. Even Arthur Melo, by the way, came up from Barcelona in that game with 20 minutes to go. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
And I don't. It's going to be hard to beat, and then go on to win it, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
Because that was basically like the final.
Yeah, I think as soon as we came out of that Barcelona game, I think the belief was just we're winning this. Before Spurs had even played and we knew it was Spurs we were going to be, I was like, this, it's written in the stars. You
Hard
cannot
to
play a
beat.
game like that and
Yeah.
then not win the final.
It's going to be hard to beat. And actually, Spurs played well in the semi. A lot of people forgot about that one against Ajax. That was a crazy semi as well, you know. And of course, we did the business. We did the business. Mo Salah, after only 2 minutes, 1-0 up, and then of course Origi laid on to win it, and number 6 came home. Pity we haven't got number 7 last year. But did you watch? Where were you watching the game last year? Were you in
I watched
Liverpool?
I watched it in the pub in Liverpool. I wasn't at one of my usuals, unfortunately, but I think that whole game was just sort of, none of us were in it because I was panicking about people that I knew over there because we didn't know what was going on. Yeah, I had a few mates who were over. They've got a mate who's in France and he was in the fan park. And then I saw after the game, not many people remember this, but they actually started going in and tear gas in the fan park after a few people had left to try and disperse that. And I was panicking because I didn't know where anyone was. I knew people who were at the game. And in the group chat that we have with my dad's mates, they were all saying, like, we're safe, we're in. But yeah, it was horrible because I was having to ring my mum as well and explain to her what had gone on because she doesn't have social media, so she was just watching the telly and she was believing what they were saying on the telly. And I was having to go, well, no, I'll send you clips, watch these. And I was explaining to her, like, the issues with the police and the, like, organisation of everything. As soon as she seen the videos, she was like, yeah, this isn't good. And I think none of our heads were in the game at that point, even the people who weren't there.
No, I mean, we actually played well in that game, but it's a blur. I was in Liverpool too. I was actually in Bootle. I was in my friend Jack's house. We were having like a house party out the back, and I was staying in Liverpool near Lime Street, actually near the station. I was coming back that night. It was about 12 o'clock, and there was a lot of drunk people walking around singing and shouting and screaming. And I just went back to bed in the hotel. I was absolutely wrecked after because I wasn't a happy camper. Then you hear all what happened the next day. And it was just crazy. It was an absolute disgrace, wasn't it? An absolute disgrace.
Yeah. I know
Lucy, probably a friend of yours, is it Lucy Harper?
I'm not sure. I don't recognise the name.
You've so many people on Instagram, 28,000 fans. How are you?
I'm also terrible at remembering names. People always come over at me and like they'll say the name and I'm like, within 5 minutes, I'm like, what was their name?
See, a lot of people put their names in and they aren't even their real names. You know, that type of way.
Yeah.
Like their name is in, but it's not really who they are. Crick D, hoping Chelsea and Newcastle win to make yesterday's disaster less. Yeah, of course, if Newcastle beat United, it'll be a little bit of something for us to go into work Monday. And of course, Chelsea play Spurs in the derby. But the way we're playing at the moment, Jesus Christ. I mean, you know, we've got Wolves Wednesday night. You go into the game, any of the games, and the United Sunday week, which is this day next week.
I'm sorted for Wolves. I'm still struggling for United. But with the big games like the derby and the Real Madrid game, I've literally found out like someone's got a space for me the day before the game or the morning of. So it can be very last minute that I find out there's a ticket going.
Yeah, but what do you think? So obviously Wednesday night, we have any chat? We're just clinging on with our fingernails here at this stage. We really are. I mean, United next week, I want to beat them. I mean, if you ever want to beat United, it's next Sunday. I think that game takes care of itself because it's such a big game. The fans won't allow them be, lethargic or slow or anything in that game. That'll sort of take. That's like a derby game. I think that game takes care of it. I think it's more of a banana skin Wednesday night against Wolves. And Wolves are like Groundhog Day. Them and Brighton. It seems to everywhere I look, there's Wolves and there's seagulls flying around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a pretty hard game, and I'm fed up of seeing the Wolves games because it's just they just seem whenever they play us, they dig their feet in, and it's sort of like trying to get past them is just not fun. I think it'll be very similar to watching the Palace game again, in all honesty.
North Red is a really good question, and I don't think anybody can answer this. Where has our team gone? I'm scratching my head here. As we said earlier, it's a mixture of injuries. It's a mixture of age profile being allowed go. Players, top players, the spine basically being out of form, the spine of the team out of form, lack of confidence in all departments. You know what I mean? The actual fit of Klopp's Gengen press and rock and roll, heavy metal football, with the players we have now in the age profile, they just don't have the energy to play that style. You know what I mean? That 4-3-3.
Definitely think they're mentally tired as well, still off last season.
From last year, 63 games.
I think if you come out of it and you go, last season you got all, it's the only chance you're going to get at winning all 4 trophies. Like,
oh, probably never happen again.
Not, yeah,
probably never happen again.
But that's got to be playing in their back of the minds and go, well, if that's not going to happen again and we're not going to get that chance again, why do we not? That they're thinking it on purpose, but subconsciously their brain's probably going, why do we try as hard as we did last season then? And that's probably is not helping.
There were so many little nuances last year. We were good in the final. We were unlucky. Courtois all of a sudden, fucking, prime Buffon, and the other game the other night he makes a mistake. He wouldn't do that in the Champions League final, of course. And of course, we all know the league. I mean, Villa are 2-0 up. You know what I mean? They're 2-0 up at 20 minutes to go. I mean, come on, I
hated that because someone I was in the upper main stand and someone started the rumour around Anfield that it had gone a 3-3. And we were like, what? Like, if it's 3-3, we've won it still. And it didn't. And we were like, everyone's trying to get signal and no one could get it to see.
No, it is crazy. And the upper tier is in. Niall, hope you're well. A lot of people, I don't know whether you'd be on Twitter that much, but you have a Twitter. You've actually quite a big Twitter following, but sometimes it's better to stay off Twitter, especially when Liverpool don't play well. It does be complete toxic. And Keita was getting something last night, wasn't he? Naby Keita. Holy.
Yeah, I do think we now nickname Keita Breadstick in our house because I tend to shout random things watching the game, and on Boxing Day I just went, why is he bringing Breadstick on? I was like, I just didn't understand it.
Who? Breadstick? Who's he?
We call Naby Keita Breadstick because of how easily he breaks.
Oh, Jesus.
So
he get injured playing Monopoly. He get injured playing Monopoly. I mean, he's that fragile.
To give him his due, last night there was one moment where I think 3 players sort of surrounded him and I thought he's going to go down injured here, and he didn't even go down on the ground, which I was pretty impressed at. But I think you sort of look and you go, with the likes of Naby and Ox, you go, they should have been long gone. They should have been sold last season, and replaced.
People forget when Naby Keita came in from RB Leipzig, we actually signed him, but we couldn't have him till the following year. So I was doing sort of a German league watch, Bundesliga watch on him that year. And every bloody game, he was getting stuck in. He was getting yellow cards. He was getting red cards. He was scoring goals, making goals. I was saying, this guy is the missing piece. Everyone wanted him. I think Bayern Munich were looking at him. And all of a sudden, he comes to Liverpool. Has a handful of good games, to be fair, but only a handful. And then gets injured after injury. Like, he's getting good, then gets injured. Gets good, stop, start, no good for you. Similar to Oxlade-Chamberlain, to be fair.
Yeah.
Both were always injured, didn't do themselves. And they need to get out of the club themselves, to be fair, I think, to have any chance of playing football.
Yeah, I definitely think it's like Karius, speaking about Newcastle, Karius is a different issue, but...
Karius is in goal today!
Yeah, he played a bad game and then has not played football since. And then you've got 2 players who are aging quite a bit and getting injured quite a lot. And you think, if that was me for my football career, I would not have wanted to spend this season at Liverpool. Before you knew, obviously, of the issues, I would have wanted to spend it somewhere else. And I don't think the issues have helped them with the prolonging of the football career, because I couldn't tell you at the minute who would take either Naby or Rox on in their squad as a
people keep saying.
player.
I don't know whether you get it on your channel when you're live and stuff, fellas. Are people going, oh, let's sell them, sell them for... Hold on. Who is going to buy a player who's on probably 100 grand a week, who's always injured, who's going to spend money on that?
Yeah,
definitely. Nobody. There's not going to be a queue out the door. It just doesn't happen,
It's just, I think a lot of people sometimes think there's a magic wand and you can wave it and it's just going to fix all the issues. And
doesn't work like that.
You say something's going to happen and it'll happen. It's like, well, you need someone to buy the player you want to sell. And I always say as well, with the FSG out sort of stuff, I don't like them as owners, but I also remember Gillette and Hicks and all the protests around that.
The Cowboys.
Yeah, me and my dad always say, be careful what you wish for, because what happens if we get another owner that comes in and treats the club the way they did? And it's... Yeah. We might not be in the perfect position at the minute, but it's a lot better than where we could be.
FSG have made mistakes. We know the furlough. We know the Super League. We know the lack of investment in key windows that they didn't do. They've done some really good things, of course. We won the first league in 31 years, Champions League. We've been in 3 Champions League finals, FA Cup, League Cup, Super Cup, Club World Cup, every bloody cup you can talk about. But the ground, as we said, the new Anfield Road. This ground looks really, really good at the moment, and will look better by next year with the superstore beside it. The branding of the club has just gone through the roof. Obviously, all the night deals, all these deals, and of course the new training ground in Kirby. You add all that together as a package, you have to say, wow, that's decent. If they would have just spent in 2 or 3 windows a bit more, a midfielder when we needed one, you know, you wouldn't have so many FSG outers in the bloody thing, you know, and they just let themselves down, I think.
I do think they've listened to the fans on certain stuff. Like, I always remember at that point where they said they were going to move from Anfield and they were just going to build a new stadium instead. And I think all the fans sort of went, no, we don't want to leave like Anfield. And they did listen to that and instead went, we're going to rebuild each stand basically. But then you look at the other stuff, like we said, with the transfers and like squad depth, they're not listening to us or the manager, it looks like, on that side of it.
Yeah. No, listen, we're not going to leave you on much longer. Another few minutes and we'll call it a day. I know Newcastle, I'll be hoping Karius gets man of the match today. You know what? I want a clean sheet with Karius today.
I've said, I think, I watched the game with me Newcastle stepdad the other week when we played them. And
away the lads. Away the lads, yeah.
He went into it dead confident, apparently. Didn't say anything to me, but according to my little brother, he'd said that they were going to thrash us and this, that, and the other. And when we watched it, me and my brother went mental, and then my brother sort of went over and was like, sorry, Dad, and sort of gave him a hug, like, yeah.
To be fair, they had chances, though. You know what I mean? Alisson was their man of the match.
Yeah, and then we, when Pope went down and got the red card, it was like, oh.
Game over. And
then I was like, Dubravka went to United on loan. Can he still play? And when I looked, I was like, no, he's played 2 games, so he can't play. So I was like, you're stuck with Karius. And my stepdads then, like, they'd booked to go to London like ages ago. They haven't got tickets for Wembley, but they were like, let's still go down. And I was like, so he was already thinking about cancelling that. And then I went, I was like, no, I think this might be an omen. It's all happened against Liverpool. I was like, you're playing one of Liverpool's biggest rivals. Like, we absolutely hate United, they hate us, sort of thing. I feel like it's sort of, again, a written in the stars thing where Karius is going to have the absolute game of his life.
Let's hope.
Yeah, and then the Real Madrid game the other night, I said to the guy next to me, I was like, is this not Karius all over again? Because you had Courtois making mistakes, you had Ali making mistakes, very similar to what you would have expected from Karius after that final. And I was like, I came out of it and I was saying, like, this is just, I always think of things and go, there's certain things that foreshadow stuff, and that for me, I was like, is that foreshadowing this weekend with the final? So fingers crossed for Newcastle and Karius that they absolutely do the job tonight, because I know I'll be cheering them on in the pub later on, hopefully. Probably screaming my head off and being the only one that is.
Of course we all want Newcastle to win and stuff like that, but it will be tough. You know your favourites going into that game. They're on a bit of a roll. Ten Hag's done a really good job there. It sickens me to say it, but he has done a good job. You know, and if they invest 2 or 3 players in summer, who knows where they'll, you know, they're on the right trajectory anyway.
Yeah.
We've just got to do our own job, get Wednesday out of the way, get a win against Wolves Wednesday night, and hopefully go for United next Sunday. And that should be one hell of a game. Courtney Neary, I think we'll leave it there. Have you anything coming up for people on shows, just vlogging and stuff like that?
There'll be a vlog coming out for the Wolves game, and there'll be one for the United game as well. The United one, I just don't know whether it'll be from Anfield or from a nearby pub, but as usual, I'll share all the pre-match atmosphere with it. And then on LFC Day Trippers this week as well, and a few other podcasts. So make sure to go and check them out.
Wow, brilliant. I mean, absolutely brilliant. Fair play to you. Just keep talking, keep walking with your head held high, keep supporting the Reds. And you never know this season. Look, we don't throw in towels here. I'm sure you don't do the same thing. Just keep going. We go again. As I say, try get win, try get confidence, get players back. I think we really miss Luis Diaz, by the way, and Canate.
100%, yes.
Try get them back as soon as possible, and just go and just look, get behind the manager, get behind the team. We'll see what happens. Bit of investment in the summer. We'll go again. We'll be Liverpool fans no matter who the manager is, who the players are. We'll always be Liverpool managers, won't we? And our managers. I'd love to be a manager. Fans. We'll be fans forever. Yeah. That's just the way it is. You know, that's the way it is. Obviously, we want success. We want to win games. But you've got to take a bit of pain for some gain. And I think there's a bit more pain to come, unfortunately, for Liverpool. But I can see a little light at the end of the tunnel. The golden sky is coming, my friends. So hit the like, hit the share. Courtney's will be down in the description. Our channels, YouTube, Instagram. She's everywhere. Courtney Neary, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers. Stay safe, guys. Thanks for the chat. You'll never walk alone.